Today we are going to Porto, in the north of Portugal. Porto is not the capital. That role belongs to Lisbon. But Porto is Portugal's great northern city, and it gives a very different first impression of the country. Its historic center is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and the city is known for port wine, blue and white tiles, steep granite streets, iron bridges, and the Douro River. Porto does not feel like a polished museum city. It feels older, steeper, and more textured. In a small area, you move from riverfront houses to church towers, tiled stations, wine cellars, bookshop interiors, and views toward the Atlantic. Ribeira is Porto's old riverfront quarter. The name points to the riverbank, and that is exactly what this area was, the working edge of the city along the Douro. This was not designed as a decorative promenade. For centuries, this lower part of Porto was connected to boats, goods, warehouses, and trade. That also explains the look of the place. There was very little flat land between the river and the hill behind it, so the houses became narrow, tall, and tightly packed. Today, Ribeira is busy with visitors and restaurants, but the old logic is still visible. Look past the postcard view, and you see the historic harbor face of Porto. The Dom Luís I Bridge is the image many people immediately associate with Porto. But the interesting part is not only how it looks, it is a piece of 19th century iron engineering, built between 1881 and 1886. The bridge was designed by Théophile Seyrig, who had worked with Gustave Eiffel. It has 2 levels, and that is what makes it so useful. The lower deck keeps you close to the river. The upper deck takes you high above the Douro, with Porto on one side and Vila Nova de Gaia on the other. So crossing the bridge is not just transport. It gives you Porto from 2 different heights, river level and skyline level. Vila Nova de Gaia is technically a separate city, but you cannot understand Porto's wine story without it. Many of the historic port wine lodges are here, on the Gaia side of the Douro. That often surprises first-time visitors. The wine is called port, but much of its storage, aging, and export history happened across the river. Traditionally, wine from the Douro Valley came downstream in Rabelow boats. In Gaia, it could mature in the cooler lodge buildings before being sold and shipped. So Gaia is not just a viewpoint. It is the commercial backstage of Porto's most famous product. São Bento is a working railway station with one of the most memorable interiors in Portugal. Its entrance hall is covered with around 20,000 azulejo tiles. The panels were created by Jorge Colasso, one of Portugal's best-known tile painters. They show scenes from Portuguese history, rural life, battles, and transport. That is what makes São Bento so effective. You do not enter a museum. You enter a station. People pass through with bags and tickets, while the walls around them tell national stories in blue and white. It is a perfect Porto moment, practical on the outside, decorative and historical on the inside. Porto Cathedral is one of the city's oldest monuments. Its Romanesque core goes back to the 12th century, and you can feel that age in the building's heavy shape. This is not a delicate church. It has the presence of a church fortress, with thick stone, strong towers, and a position above the old city. That position mattered in medieval Porto. Religion, authority, and defense were closely linked. Over time, Gothic, Mannerist, and Baroque elements were added, so the cathedral is not one pure style from one moment. It is a building that carries several centuries at once. That makes it very different from Porto's later, more decorative churches. Clérigos Tower is Porto's famous vertical landmark. It is about 75 meters high, with more than 200 steps to the top. The tower was completed in the 18th century and designed by Niccolò Nasoni, the Italian architect who shaped several important Baroque works in Porto. Its height still matters today. When you walk through the old center, the streets can feel steep, dense, and irregular. The tower gives you a fixed point above that pattern. The climb is not only about taking a photo from the top. From up there, the city becomes easier to read. Red roofs, church towers, the Douro, Gaia, and the direction toward the Atlantic. That is why the tower remains one of Porto's clearest landmarks. Livraria Lello is famous, crowded, and often overhyped online. But the building itself is still worth looking at seriously. The current bookshop opened in 1906 on Rua das Carmelitas. It was designed by Francisco Xavier Esteves, with neo-Gothic lines, Art Nouveau details, carved wood, stained glass, and a dramatic central staircase. The important point is that this was a commercial bookshop built with the ambition of a cultural monument. The ceiling includes the Latin motto, Decus in labor, meaning honor in work. That fits the building well. It treats bookselling as something worthy of theater and craftsmanship. So do not judge Livraria Lello only by its crowds. Look at how much architectural effort was put into a place made for books. Igreja do Carmo is one of Porto's clearest azulejo facades. The famous side wall was added in 1912 and is covered with blue and white tiles. This is not a small decorative strip around a doorway. It turns an exterior church wall into a large public image. That is why it works so well in Porto. Azulejos here are not hidden away inside museums. They appear on stations, churches, chapels, and ordinary facades. Mercado de Bolão gives Porto a working city moment. Markets have existed on this site since the 19th century, and the current market building dates from the early 20th century. After a major restoration, Bolão reopened in 2022. That recent detail matters. Nearby, Rua de Santa Catarina shows the commercial center, with shops, cafes, pedestrians, and tiled facades such as the Capela das Almas. Together, this area shows Porto at street level, useful, busy, and everyday. Foz do Douro is where Porto reaches the Atlantic Ocean. The word Foz means the mouth of a river, so the name is literal. This is the mouth of the Douro. After the tight-old center, Foz feels like another side of the city. The Felgueiras Lighthouse, built in 1886, stands on the breakwater and is one of the clearest markers of this edge. But Foz is not only the lighthouse. It is also beaches, promenade, coastal houses, and long walks beside the Atlantic. This is why it works as a final Porto stop. It shows that Porto is not only built on a river, it also ends at the ocean. Do not plan your day only by what looks close on the map. The center is compact, but the climbs are real. A 10-minute walk can feel very different when it goes from river level to the upper city. So plan Porto by levels. Keep the riverside and Gaia together. Then move up into the center for the station, cathedral, tower, tiles, and bookshop area. Book timed places early, especially Livraria Lello or wine cellar visits, because queues can break the rhythm of the day. And keep Foz for a moment when you want space, sea air, and a complete change of pace. Porto rewards good pacing. See less in a rush, and the city will make much more sense. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel for free so you do not miss the next cities. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.